So you may be wondering about the title of this video. Now, I did a video probably late August called The Age of Forced Accountability for Women, and I put a link to that video in the description below. But this was my prediction, and I'm actually starting to see a lot of this come to fruition. This article today is called Controlling Girlfriend First Woman Convicted of New Domestic Abuse Offence. Now, this is from the Telegraph in the UK, and I don't think any of us were surprised to see a university graduate as the cover picture for this video. A university graduate is believed to be the first woman convicted under the new domestic abuse laws after scalding her boyfriend with boiling water, stabbing him, and keeping food from him. Jordan Worth, just 22 years old, banned her partner from their bed, decided what clothes he could wear, isolated him from friends and family, and even took over his Facebook account. Any of these things sounding familiar, guys? Wanting the Facebook password, keeping you away from your friends, telling you what you can and can't wear, any of this sort of stuff. Sound familiar? Just saying, probably a fair few of you watching this video are going to resonate with this right now. She was jailed for 7.5 years, good, after pleading guilty to the offence of controlling or coercive behaviour in an intimate relationship introduced in 2015, as well as wounding with intent and causing grievous bodily harm with intent. Worth, who came from a loving and supporting family, made her boyfriend's life a misery, exercising control over him and deciding what he could wear shortly after they moved in together, Luton Crown Court heard. Raised in Ridgemont, Herts, she had been a high performer at school and was a trained gymnast. Now she's just a trained feminist. She gained a 2-to-1 honours degree in, you guessed it, fine arts, from the University of Hertfordshire, and had been volunteering for an animal charity, but really wanted to become an indoctrinator. Really wanted to become a teacher. She had also raised money for children in Africa. But Judge Nick Madge heard that there were two sides to Petite Worth, who controlled... See this? The media is throwing in here, petite, right? Petite Worth. Like we've got to throw in a compliment to the woman who's just been jailed for 7.5 years, who controlled every aspect of her partner's life at their home in the village of Stewartby in Bedfordshire. Worth and her partner had met at college in 2012 when they were both 16, Mariam Sayed prosecuting told the court. She became violent towards the man. Imagine my shock, getting my Joseph Paul Watson on there, who suffered from hydrocephalus caused by a buildup of fluid inside the skull that made him vulnerable. She used blunt objects to strike him, wounded him with a knife, and didn't help him get to hospital for treatment. For 9 months, he was not permitted to sleep in the same bed as her, the court was told. The charge of controlling or coercive behaviour covered a period from April of 2016 to June 2012, so that's 14 months, when police were called to the couple's home. Neighbours said they often heard them arguing and the sounds of things being thrown in the house, Miss Syed said. The victim was heard by his neighbours shouting at Worth, "Get off me, you're hurting me." He was seen on occasions with black eyes and to be limping and with his arm in a sling. Once Worth was seen at a window by a neighbour armed with a screwdriver or hammer, the court heard. Another neighbour heard the victim shouting, "Get off me, get off my head. Don't keep doing that to my head." Smart boy, I'm glad he was calling that out so the neighbours could hear him, because they're the only witnesses, other than her, and she's not going to tell the truth. When paramedics were called, they noted injuries to his hand and burns to his arms and legs, which were being self-treated with cling film. Like, the wrap you put on your sandwiches? That was all that he had to work with. Poor guy, man. And look, but for the record, I know that there's guys who do this shit to women as well, and it's just as uncool. It's just as horrendous, but they're usually held accountable, sometimes when they haven't even done it. He was taken to Bedford's Bedford Hospital's acute clinical unit, and then to Addenbrooke's Hospital. Miss Syed said 5% of his total body surface was scalded, i.e. burnt with boiled water. Days later, Worth was arrested. Judge Madge told Worth that as well as the violence she had carried out on her partner, she had refused him adequate bedding and food. He said she would belittle her partner and discourage him from contacting friends and his family. She accepts that she has in the past on a number of occasions used blunt objects and implements to strike him, and that he suffered injuries as a result of her doing so, he said. She accepts that using boiling or hot water to cause injury to him. She accepts that she has in the past used a knife to cause injury to her partner. He suffered from hydrocephalus and had an invulnerable head, and he became increasingly isolated. Worth, who is now in a new relationship, pity the fool, was made the subject of a restraining order which prevents her from contacting her ex for an indefinite period. Be interesting to see how she takes out her rage on being penalized on her new partner. Now, interestingly, there was also a little section in this article, and I have linked this article also in the description below for you guys, that details what is coercive control within the context of these new coercive control and abuse laws. Professor Evan Stark of Rutgers University in New York defined coercive control as a, and I quote, a course of action in which a pattern of violence, sexual coercion, intimidation, isolation, and control are used to dominate and exploit a partner and deprive him or her of basic rights and resources. Isolation from friends, family, and colleagues is a classic method by which abusers exert control over their victims, because that way none of the people that care about them are able to intervene. Other characteristics include excessive jealousy, taking away the victim's phone, withholding food and toilet access, stalking, and restricting access to money. So guys, it does happen to both men and women. We know this. Hopefully, if some feminists see this video, they might start to wake up to what's going on. This is not a gendered issue. Yeah, sure, maybe men do it slightly more that get caught, but more women do it that don't get caught. I'm just saying, like, I'm a dude, right? And I've spoken to a lot of women, and the amount of times they can actually count that they've been in that kind of relationship versus the amount of times I can count that I've had to deal with that sort of shit, and the amount of times that my male friends can count that they've had to deal with that sort of shit. Like, the numbers are starting to stack up. The media won't report it, but we know how it is now. And by the way, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to John Kevin for that generous donation. I appreciate you, John Kevin. Thank you so much, brother. Kirby says, I live in Illinois. Hi, Sydney. How you doing, Kirby? And by the way, guys, thank you so much for correcting me on my pronunciation of Illinois the other day. I will make sure that I never get that wrong ever again. And guys, I'd really love it if you could share this with all of your friends, because I can guarantee you that every guy that's been in a couple of relationships in their life has been through some of this coercive behavior. Whether it's just wanting the Facebook password, or wanting to look at their phone, or telling them what they can't wear when they go out. You know, all of this stuff is coercive and abusive behavior, right? Albeit at different levels. And we need to call it out where it happens. Anyway, guys, appreciate you all for joining in. Again, thank you so much, John Kevin, for that donation. You guys in Canada and the US, I know it's starting to get cold over there. Sweatshirts and hoodies, represent.com in the description below. If you want to donate discreetly, paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW. Really appreciate it if you could show some love in that respect. Help me out with this channel. And we got IICEI saying, preach it, brother. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Please share this with everyone you know. Please share this with women that think that men are not abused. Please share this with every feminist you know to put a spanner in the works for them. Actually, maybe not, because then YouTube will start to give me shit after they give too many thumbs down and try and report my video for misogyny. So just share it with all the guys you know, and anyone that is actually woken up to what's really going on, so that they can take this article for their repertoire, so that next time a woman says, oh, women don't abuse men, it can be like, yeah, see this, yeah, it happens. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here, and I will catch you in the next video. I appreciate you all tuning in. Can't believe I'm at 11,000. I feel so humbled that you guys really resonate with my message. Sometimes I don't hit the mark for you. I know that, but I can't always please everyone. But thank you so much for being part of this and for helping people to take the red pill and grow their knowledge about what's really going on in the world and what's not represented in the mainstream media and on social media and in academia. There's a lot of ears at the end. Ear. No, sorry, I'm not going to get my Nelly on today. All right, guys, I'm out here for now. Appreciate you all. But until next time, peace.